Perfect. All right. So we're going to talk today about how to make real passive income. This is what we're talking about today. All right. I'm going to power that off so that people can no longer show their videos and then we'll control that. Okay. So how to make true, real passive income. Okay. This is what we're going to talk about today. And I am going to share my screen. We'll put that screen over here so that I can see you easier. And off we go. And Andy will be in charge of the chats and the door.
I knew I'd be in charge of something one day.
Sorry?
I knew I'd be in charge of something one day. My natural leadership coming to the fore.
There you go. You're the master. You're the man. Okay, so to talk about what real passive income is. Okay, so this is making passive income without talking to people, without selling stuff. This is passive income that you yourself are in charge of. Okay, everybody's in charge of themselves. The only person that I can control is me, and that's the same with you. The only person that you can control is you. You can't control any behavior of anybody else. So let's talk about how to get out of the rat race, and just briefly about this. Okay, so how to get out of the rat race. What happens is employees, we're all employees, you pay the most taxes and you get paid the least. But what happens is people, they want to get to this category here, investor. You start off as an employee. And often people, oh, well, I can do that job better. I can do it easier. Like, for example, a painter or a contractor, and you set up a business. By doing so, you get paid a little bit more because you don't have to go through the other guy. But you're still trading time for dollars, And this is the problem with this quadrant. And so you start to bring on employees and you have to hire people and so you're creating a business out of it, and that's okay. But you're still kind of trading time for dollars a little bit. But here in the big business, it's also a business system. And so you could pay and buy a business or buy a franchise or set up a business. And so you have to have a large upfront money to buy a business. And often in those businesses, you still have to deal with employees and their drama, and you have to deal with product, and you have to buy product. And so although you pay less taxes as a business owner, and you make more income, it's still not the best quite yet. Items that fit into this category would be franchises. Okay, those fit there. And other things like relationship marketing fits into there really easily because the startup price can be a little bit lower. So I want to how can I go from employee to bypass and straight into investor? This is what I want to talk about for the rest of this call is how to make your money work for you so that you are making money, because I'm only in control of me, just like you're only in control of you. I have no control over you. And so I can control what I can do with my money to get it to work for me. Okay. So part of the problem of money is the purchasing power of money is going down. It's very significant. And people talk about, inflation being 3.5 a year, but I'm telling you, it's not 3.5 a year. It's a lot higher than that. And if you look in other countries, like this is a stable currency, a powerful currency is the US currency, and it's going down. Other currencies in the world, they are going down a lot faster. Like it's the same picture. It takes 20 years to do this. Okay, in other money systems. And so storing your wealth in a monetary system isn't the best because you can't outwork inflation. You simply can't. You can't put in enough hours to make the same amount of money that you made last year or 10 years ago and next year. Like you simply can't overwork inflation. It's impossible. And so this is why we have to think of what other things can we do so that we can be in control of us, be in control of our finances, be in control of being financially independent. And this is the thing is when your passive income over exceeds your expenses, this is where you are now financially stable, where you are in control of your finances. And passive income is how you can overtake inflation. Passive income is how you can overtake and make it so that you've got passive income coming into your life, so that you have full control over your expenses. Like we talked just a second ago about what happens if as an employee you have something that happens. Since you're trading time for dollars, something happens, you are no longer making those dollars. This is another reason why you need passive income to be able to go up here. So here's the question for the chat. Please write in, what number would make a difference in your life so that you can breathe easy? Whatever your goal is, maybe you want to replace your passive your income so that your passive income completely replaces any other incomes that you have. What number makes a difference to you? Where are you in your life? Okay. And everybody knows their own finances. And so write in the chat, what makes a difference to you? Where do you need to be? What are your goals so that you're able to breathe, so that you have financial stability? Because we'll have expenses for the rest of our life, but we need a source of income for the rest of our life as well. Okay. So let me compare some money in the system compared to a bunch of different things. Okay. I got this from Wimbo. He's a really smart guy. Let's compare gold and silver and Bitcoin over time. In 1974, you could buy a Stingray for $6,001 US dollars. Yeah, that's right. But if inflation were working properly, the money you'd still have a value to your money. Yes, the car is worth more, but not that much more. And the reason why it's this much more is because the value, the worth of the dollar has gone so far down. And I'll show you, because gold, for example, 34 ounces of gold, yes, 25 ounces of gold, is because gold is a stable money source. Gold is a really good place to store income. It's a really, really good place. And I would encourage you to buy gold every day. I would. But this is another discussion for another time. But you can see that its value is about the same, how much gold it costs, because that's what it is. Whereas the dollar has significantly gone down in price. Let's compare it to silver. So silver, 1,200 ounces, okay? Silver went up a little bit, but it's still very comparable. So let's compare it to Bitcoin. If Bitcoin existed in 1974, it would have costed 6 million Bitcoins to buy this car. Today, it would only cost 1.6 Bitcoins. Okay. This explains why, what I'll go into right now, why Bitcoin is the best store of wealth. It's the most powerful. Okay. Bitcoin is the best store of wealth. And it is the most powerful. It is because everything else is deflating. Everything else is manipulated. The only other good store of wealth is gold. Okay. So let's look at a couple of pictures. Why is it that companies, like BlackRock, Tesla, all of these companies are buying and acquiring gold all the time? Why is it? Why is it that governments are buying and acquiring gold all the time? These are the top 10 countries that own gold and how much Bitcoin they own. Why is it? Okay, this is the most important question. Why do they do something and they tell us to do something else? We need to pay attention. They're doing something and they're telling us to do something else. It's because they want to control it, but it's because it's also a good storage of wealth. Bitcoin, over the past 8 of the past 11 years, has been the top asset of any asset class anywhere. It is its own asset class. And that's why we need to be acquiring Bitcoin. Okay. Some other reasons why we need to acquire Bitcoin is because the price of Bitcoin over the long term goes up. Yes, it has dips and valleys. Every 4 years, it has, a dip and a valley. But, and it's great for trading because it goes up and down. Over the long term, it's going up because it's a good store of value. And the reason why, well, I'll talk about that in a second. But here's some price experts that talk about Bitcoin. Okay, so Kathy Wood, Robert Kiyosaki, Michael Saylor. These people are predicting that Bitcoin is going to be, $1.5 million in the next 10 years, the next 5 years, $500,000 by next year, one Bitcoin. Okay, why is that? There are things that cause Bitcoin to the price to go up. Number one, every 4 years, Bitcoin has a halving. So the amount of Bitcoin that can be produced is halved. That's what that means. So every 4 years, the amount that can be produced is halved. But the other thing that Bitcoin, of why it's a good source of store of value, I'm talking about store of value for 10 years down the road, 100 years down the road. I'm not talking about store of value for this year or for tomorrow. Like what makes it a good store of value is 10 years down the road, somebody more intelligent than you. 10 years down the road, somebody smarter than you. 10 years down the road, somebody who is more financially savvy than you. 10 years down the road, somebody who is in those upper niches, they want to buy Bitcoin from you. That's why it's important to store Bitcoin today. But other reasons why is as the Bitcoin, its desirability goes up, its demand goes up. And the reason why is because there's only a finite amount of Bitcoin that will ever be produced. Okay. Bitcoin is the only asset, anything, anywhere in the world that is not controlled by a government, by a person, by a country, by an individual. It's not controlled. It's only controlled electronically. There are 3 ways to acquire Bitcoin. One is to purchase it. You can buy it from a retailer, and I would encourage you to buy a little bit every day. Just buy a little bit because you want to convert your wealth into Bitcoin. The second way to acquire Bitcoin is by selling goods and services. And so you have goods and services and you get paid in Bitcoin. That's a wonderful way. The third way is by mining Bitcoin. And so I'm going to talk about mining Bitcoin from here on out. What you need to do is just to briefly explain about mining is a machine like this, just a computer. It detects movement on the network and it does a mathematical computation. Okay. So this is a picture of movement on the network. This is graphical interface. Each one of these blocks falling down is a bit of Bitcoin that's being moved from place A to place B right now. Okay. By the mining machine. This is a mining rig. And to compare mining rigs compared to other things, other businesses, a mining rig costs about $10,000. It produces about $5 a day in Bitcoin. And you've got electricity costs that you have to deal with every month. And you've got upgrading costs because this is really high, fast technology. You have to keep advanced of the technology to have the fastest machines out there so that you can continue mining at an efficient rate. Okay. And so it's a continual upgrade, continual process of always putting money back into it to keep it going. So one mining rig, about $10,000, also produces about $5 a day. Okay. So if this is where we're going to talk about with regards to mining, just to explain briefly how mining works. A mining machine detects on the network. It detects movement. That's what each one of these Bitcoins, that's what each of these examples are. And the mining machine has to do a mathematical computation to resolve the question. Upon posting it, it posts it, and that machine, only that machine, gets to receive that commission, the gas fee for the transmission of that. The one machine that posted it, the first one, gets the reward. All other machines that post subsequent to that, they don't get the reward, but it's just confirmations. Okay. The second part that happens is every 10 minutes, all of these postings in here that reveals the entire block. Okay. And that block of Bitcoin is then dumped into the mining pool. The only companies that can take Bitcoin out of the mining pool are those companies that put it there. There are lots of companies that sell their Bitcoin to retailers at a discount price. So Kraken, KuCoin, Binance, Crypto.com. They buy the Bitcoin from those miners, and then they retail it to us. So that's how we get it. It's brand new, fresh Bitcoin that gets created every 4 years. The amount of Bitcoin is halved. Okay. So this brings up problems of the system because those mining machines, they fire away full speed 100% at resolving that question. Okay. And those mining machines, that's high electricity costs that the mining company has to deal with, upgrade costs, which we already talked about, and inefficiencies because they will be processing work that isn't valid work in the end. Okay. And this is where we come in, is the mining. We have a booster that does all of that process. What it does is it makes it so that the mining process is more efficient. Okay. I'm going to talk about that in a second. I'm going to talk about this first. I reorganized my slides so that we could hopefully make it more efficient. This slide is really important. Remember, we talked about the mining that we are doing. We are sharing the profit. We're sharing the profit with the mining company. So they've got their base Bitcoin that they normally produce. They have their electricity costs that they have to deal with. They have their upgrade costs that they normally produce. The base Bitcoin, by signing a contract with us, we go, okay, any Bitcoin that we make above that we'll share that with you. And so they go, oh, so I don't have to buy any boosters. I don't have to have any other costs of Vault. No, you don't. But we will take, here's what you're making right now. Here's what you're making. We will improve that, and then we'll share this with you. And they go, oh, well, there's no cost to me. Yeah, I'll sign a contract with you. And that's what we've done, is we share back with these mining companies 60% of the Bitcoin that we produce as a result of this agreement with them gets shared back to them. 60% goes back to the mining companies. 30% of the Bitcoin that is produced goes to us, the miner, the booster owners. 10% goes to the company, okay? Because they're the intermediator. And so just to keep this in a frame of reference, is over the past 6 months, we've produced 100 Bitcoin as of June 26th. So that 100 Bitcoin that was produced, 60 Bitcoins went back to the mining companies, 30 went to the boosters owners, and 10 went to the company. Okay, so let's compare owning a business compared to a regular business and compared to owning a BitBooster business. Okay, so I need, this is a really important chart. Okay, the booster is a one-time cost. You pay for it the one time, and then you never have to pay for it again. It's yours. You bought it one time, and let's say you buy a cell phone. Okay, buy a cell phone. Well, in 2 years, my cell phone's going to die probably, and I have to buy another one for $1,000. Okay, and I get a warranty on it. What, 3 months worth of warranty? And it's like, really? So the booster, you get a 5-year warranty on it. It means if something happens in the 5 years, you can, it gets fixed, replaced, and it's a one-time fee. One time, you buy it the one time, $1,000 for booster. Okay, so let's compare that to a regular business. Let's say, I don't know, a dentistry firm. You've got to rent the building. You've got to buy equipment. You've got your education behind you. It's, of course, maybe you're a partner or something, but it only costed you $50,000 to buy this business. Or maybe it's a candy store in a mall. Maybe it only costs you $5,000 to buy a business, whatever it is. Okay, there is nothing out there that is better than this that I have found. Okay, you buy a business for $50,000, you've got monthly costs, you've got renting costs, you've got equipment costs, you've got costs that always occur that have to be paid every month. That's money out the door, even before you make money out the door, in addition to the initial setup costs. Your monthly estimation, $100,000. Your income, $12,000. Now, let's compare that to a passive income with a booster. $50,000, same price, okay, for 50 boosters. You get $200 approximately a day. And the monthly estimation, $6,000. Yearly estimation, $72,000. It was a one-time fee, and you never had to dish anything more out. And Andy, I'm going to ask you a question. In this example, did I talk to anybody? Did I invite anybody? Did I have to hassle anybody? Or was this just pure booster working for me?
Well, it's just pure booster. And what you're explaining here is that any of us can shortcut that cash flow quadrant and move straight to the investor quadrant, which is where we, some people take a whole lifetime to move through that cash flow quadrant into the investor sector. And here we can do it just whenever we like. And that's what you've done. You don't have to talk to anybody. You don't have to, there's no business to be done. It's just straight into investor mode by just buying the boosters. So yeah, absolutely.
Thank you, Andy. Hey, Wendell. Sure, let's hear what you have to say. Can you unmute him, please? I don't see that screen.
Sure.
Hey, can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, go
Yes,
ahead.
we can.
Yeah, so just looking and hearing what you guys are saying, excuse me, just to confirm that, like anybody can do this. That's what has happened. The world has changed. The old ways can still work. They're going to take a lot longer. So as Andy just said, shortcut it. Like instead of going all the way around, take the shortcut. You can walk around the world or you can fly around the world. That's a choice. So why not just jump on the plane? This is an airplane versus walking. Just get it, not invest it, not build a business, not harass my friends. All that thought, forget all that. That's going to happen as people see it, whether they hear you or not. Just get it and let it do what it's designed to do. Shortcut your financial future. We're in that world. It's 2024, not 1904. So let's not do the old things. I mean, you can do the old things later because clearly after the boosters do what they do, you can go back later and get real estate. You can go back later and open a business. Why do that now when we're in a whole different space, a whole different era? Just let it happen. That's what I'm getting from what y'all are saying.
Thank you, Wendell. I agree 100%. We are in control of our finances. The boosters are giving me control over my finances because it just works every single day. Let's say I wanted to buy a real estate. A real estate is a great source of, income, can be. I have to buy 3 or 4 units to make it work for me, okay? But let's just use one unit as an example. One property, $100,000. You've got to fix it up. You got advertising. You got monthly, weekly sales. Who knows how long before you'll get a tenant in there or how long you have to hold on to the place before you can sell it. Again, outside of your control. Items that are outside of your control that now are costing you money every day, every month. And if you do get tenants in there, you have to manage them. Monthly estimated take home $500, yearly $6,000. Okay. Like it was just mentioned a second ago. Yeah, go ahead, do it. Get your boosters first. Because a booster costs $100, 100 boosters, $100,000. Your daily income, $400. Your monthly estimated $120,000. $12,000. Yearly estimated $144,000. And again, I'm not talking to anybody. I'm not, prospecting anybody. It's just the booster working for me. This is pure capitalism. It's pure. This is the best thing ever because it just works for me. Okay.
It's just pure investor mode, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just pure investor mode. Let's compare if I have one Bitcoin, compare it. I bought instead of one Bitcoin next year. If I don't do anything, I'll still have one Bitcoin. The Bitcoin value will go up. And then the year after that, I'll still have one Bitcoin, but the Bitcoin value will go up. But you know how, people have expenses and stuff, and that I actually won't have one Bitcoin next year because I'll have spent some of it because I have to spend because I've got to, I've got expenses. So next year I actually won't have one Bitcoin. I'll have less than that. However, if I take that one Bitcoin and buy 70 boosters, as an example, so now the boosters are working for me, printing money every day, printing money every day. They are working for me. At the end of the year, I've now got 1.823 Bitcoins. The next year, I still have 70 boosters, but now I've got another 1.823 Bitcoins because it's working for me. That's all it does. It's just a machine that prints money. The year after that, I still have 70 boosters. Well, that's not true. I will have increased the number of boosters, but for this example, I'll leave it at 70 boosters for fun. I'll make another 1.823 Bitcoins. Okay. This is really important stuff. This is true passive income, truly passive income.
So, Walter, before you leave that slide, can you go back to that slide?
Yeah. It's just waiting for it to refresh.
Okay, because you asked a question earlier, how much money do people need to, or people would like to make from a passive income or an investor income? And 4 of us have put a figure in the chat, so I guess nobody else on the call wants to make any money. So so they're already where they want to be in life. So we're going to try and make this a little bit more interactive. What I'm going to ask is the question, looking at the slide that's on the screen now, how many people would like to go for plan A, which is 1 Bitcoin and keep hold of that, sit on it, keep it warm, try and hatch it, 1 Bitcoin or 70 boosters? So just in the chat, quick as you can, put down 1 Bitcoin or 70 boosters. We just want to make sure that the audience, particularly the new people, are with us, that this is hitting home, this information is getting through to you guys, because this is an important point. One Bitcoin is still going to be worth 1 Bitcoin, but 70 boosters will generate more Bitcoin. So particularly the brand new people, people who feel they've understood this slide, either 1 Bitcoin or 70 boosters. We're getting some answers through now, so let's just have a quick look. 70 boosters, 70 boosters, 70 boosters. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so we're all singing off the same song sheet. So sorry to interrupt you, Walter, but we did say we'd ask a few more questions on the call.
Yes, thank you for reminding me. I want to make this more interactive, and thank you for reminding me. And it's true. Like, I get on board, make it happen. How many people answered? There's like 30 people that answered, I think. That was pretty awesome. So here's another thing that's really important. Because it's passive income, if you want to increase your income, this is truly passive income. Okay. So I answered a question just a second ago of what is the amount of money would make a difference to you on a monthly basis, on a daily basis? What makes a difference to you? Do you have any answers in there?
So is that the one about how much? Sorry, can you ask the question again?
If you need, how much passive income do you need coming into your house that would make a difference? What was
we've got five answers now, because Ivy's joined us with an answer as well. So we've got five people figured out how much they need.
Okay.
6 people. So
what are some of the answers?
Typically around about 5,000 a month, 2,000 a month, 2,500 a month.
Okay, so 5,000 a month. Let's just call it this one here. That's 50 boosters. At 50 boosters, it costs $50,000, and you make a range of $150 to $250, and it equates to between $42,000 to $53,000 a month, okay, approximately. That's what your goal is. Now, my goal also is 100 boosters, okay? Because I like that number nicer. It's a nice round number. but that's where my goal is too, is to get up there. Now, here's the thing is we all start wherever we're at. That's the way it is. Some of us, I know a couple of people have bought 1,000 boosters and they're making $84,000 a month as a result. Like $3,000 a day to $5,000 a day. That's a lot of money. Okay. Some people, they started off with 100 boosters $300 a day to $500 a day, making $84,000 a month. Okay. Some people, they start off with 10 boosters. That's okay. It's $30 a month to $50 a month. That's about $840 a month. Okay. But some other people, they had to start smaller with one shared. That's only $100. With $100, you can have a good experience. And it's passive income because you don't have to talk to people. You don't have to do any sort of stuff. It just simply arrives every day into your account. After 6 months, you've doubled your account, no matter what the size is, approximately 6 months. And you can increase the amount of boosters that you have. I started at one shared as well, because that's what I had. That's what I had to work with. And so my goal is to get up here. And so I every day I can, I buy another shared and I withdraw a little bit of money because it's important to withdraw along the way. Okay. But you start where you're at. Some people can start here. That's great. Some people can start here. That's okay. You start where you're at. Okay. But let's say that you want to have a pay raise. Okay. What do you need to do if you want a pay raise? Just simply buy some more boosters. If you want a pay raise, let's say you want a $400 pay raise. Buy another $100. Buy another 100 boosters. No big deal. You are in control of your finances. You are in control of your life. I'm the only one that can control me. Okay. This is the best company ever. Okay. It truly is. Just briefly about the company. This is the server room. There's about 5,000 boosters that can be stored in a room this size. Okay, each one of these little racks here has 20 boosters in it. People can walk over to the store, to the office anytime they want. They can go in and talk to the reception, talk to people, have a conversation, go tour around. It's okay. It's a real company to do that. Here, I'm going to show you a little video quickly of a friend of mine. He's actually in Kuala Lumpur right now in the server room. And he's not in the server room right now, but he took this video while he was there just yesterday. And just before this, what happens is on your account, it shows your booster. It shows the amount of hash that it's running at. Okay. And so it shows that it's active. So just before this, she reached up and she unplugged the booster from the wall. Okay. And this is now
756 right there, and right there on the serial number right there. We have a light. You guys have a light here? Yeah, there we go. 3756 right there. Look at that. Wonderful. And right there on the back office, so you can see it's yellow right now. You see that little yellow arrow? That means it's inactive. Right out of it, and a lot of people are skeptics of this. Right?
Put it back.
So that was unit number 17 he had on his line there. Okay.
Okay.
So she's now plugged it back in.
Back on. Look at that. Right
Line
there.
number 17. It's back up alive again.
Go back up. No more inactive, and back to 5.3 active. So boom, right there.
Okay. That's how quick the booster interacts with the servers. Okay. They pulled it out and it shows inactive. And if at some point in time the ITs see that your booster is showing as disabled or inactive or something else, they go, oh, there's something up, there's something wrong. And they can go fix it. Okay. The booster itself is a solid state device. There's no moving parts. So 5-year warranty is like really cool. There are no failures to date, and I don't expect there will be. But this is the best business ever. Okay, so I'm gonna open up the floor here at this point in time to anybody that would like to tell their story, tell about their experience. And I'm gonna stop the share at this point in case there's someone that would like to share, and we'll leave this on the recording so that other people can see the experiences about regular people, just like you or me, just regular people. Stick up your hands if you want to comment. I'll give it a couple seconds. I don't see any hands coming up, so.
Well, I'm quite happy to kind of share my experience, because although I do a lot of talking on these videos, I don't normally share my startup story. When I many of you know Jan, and Jan and I were involved in some things prior to this. So as soon as Jan saw this opportunity, I was one of the first people he phoned. I don't know why, but you know, obviously he had a reason, so he called me, and we jumped on a Zoom together, and he started showing me some of the literature and some of the pictures of the you know, the head office. And in fact, the video he showed me of the head office at the time, it was so early in the process that the video was the painters and decorators, you know, putting stuff up on the walls, the ceilings, the glass partitions, and they were still building the server room. And so it was partly it was a case of this is what it's going to be like in the future. But as soon as he mentioned that we have a device that we can plug in one location, in a secure location, kind of a what's it called, like a data server, because I understand data server rooms. So you know, they're a clean environment, and nothing ever goes wrong with the equipment in a clean environment. So as soon as he said we've got that connecting via VPN to all these mining farms around the world, and we're making a proportion of the improvement, that's it. I was sold, because I've been looking for something in Bitcoin for a little while, and most of the stuff I've looked at that purported to be Bitcoin mining wasn't, or it was a bad deal, or it's unsustainable, or it's totally under the control of the company, not under my control. And as soon as I saw this, and I realized that actually this is all under my business, is under my control. The company's got control of my Bitcoin for, you know, 24 hours, 48 hours, whatever. But as soon as I I take that Bitcoin out of the system and I store it myself. So it doesn't matter what happens to the company. It doesn't matter what happens to the VPN connection, the mining farms, the government, the world. It doesn't matter. I've got my Bitcoin safe from, and that's my security. I don't need the company to have all sorts of credentials, although having said that, it has more credentials than any other company I've ever seen in this space. But I realized that my security is that I can just take that Bitcoin away from the company and put it and store it myself, and that's my security. That's just so I was overjoyed with that. I've never seen anything like that before. And it took me about 10 minutes to say, okay, this is going to be big. This is going to be really good. Let's do it. And signed up there and then. Like most people, I got started with 0.1 of a booster. And the 0.1 position is really there just to dip your toe in the water, get to see your way around the back office, get faith in the fact you get paid in Bitcoin every day. It's not the position you want to be in, because we've all been talking tonight about how much extra money do we need to have coming into our household in order to make an improvement in our lives, and it's not 50 cents. Yeah, 50 cents is good enough to say it works, but it's not what you want. If you want $5,000, then you got to look at 50 boosters or 100 boosters, whatever it is. Okay, so so 0.1 is a good starting point, and what we want to aim to do is, as quickly as we can, move on from there to increase this, you know, our holdings, increase the size of our portfolio, and it's a linear connection between the number of boosters you hold and the amount of money you get paid. It's as simple as that. It's not like some of these other businesses where you can put lots of time and money and effort in for no additional rewards. Now, this is a direct line between the number of boosters you've got and how much money you make. And the only person who's in control of that is you. For me, the only person who's in control of my future now is me. And you can work out some strategies where you can use this as a savings plan. Instead of saving $100 a month, $100 a week towards Christmas, you can buy some boosters and then take your Christmas money out of your profits in November and December for Christmas, you know. Or you can use it as a pension fund. Instead of putting $1,000 a month into a pension fund, put $1,000 a month into this. Okay, so you can do those things, and then you can also compound with your profits. But the 0.1 position is great, and I realized straight away that that's where I needed to start, but I didn't want to stay there for very long. So we worked out strategies where we can build a small team and earn some commissions on that and plow all those commissions back into buying boosters as well. I'm up to 12 boosters now, and soon about to add another 3 boosters. So, well, 12.1 actually. So it's a bit slower than I'd like, but then also I have been taking money out. I've been withdrawing some money. So I've taken out far more money than I've put in. So in that sense, it's a success story. And that's it. You know, it's growing, and I've got a nice little income from it. Probably earning about coming up to $4,000 a month from it now. I could make more than that by investing more and withdrawing less, but that's just, you know, my strategy. So I'd encourage everybody, get in, kick the tires, have a look at getting started. Get started at whatever level you're comfortable with. We tell stories of people who get in at as soon as they look at it, they buy 100 boosters, they buy 200 boosters. Somebody bought 1,000 boosters, and if I had that sort of money, that's exactly what I would have done. I didn't have that money, and I still don't. So I started where I could with the plan to build on it and build on it as fast as I can. And if you explain that to people that you know, they'll all want to do the same. You haven't got to sell it to them, you haven't got to convince them. But if you just tell people what your strategy is, people will realize the power of what you've got your hands on, and they'll want some. Because who doesn't want to join a success story? So that's my tuppence worth on where I started in the business. And what I hope for the future is that my accumulated Bitcoin, the Bitcoin that I'm taking out of the system, is going to be worth many millions of dollars when Bitcoin hits $1 million per coin, or 3.8 million per coin, or even beyond that. You know, and it will definitely get to much more than that. Is it Jack Dorsey says that it's going to be worth 10 million a coin? He didn't say when, but and I believe it will be worth more than that, and so it will be worth that, and I believe it will be worth more than that. It's just a question of, it's just a function of time. As time goes on, Bitcoin is going to continue to rise in price because of the scarcity, and so that's kind of what we're doing. Is we're hanging on to the coattails of Bitcoin. We're not hanging on to the coattails of a company or a business system or a country or an economic plan. Is just we're hanging on to the coattails of Bitcoin, and I think that's a good position to be in.
Thank you. Wendell, would you like to talk about your experience, if you're willing?
Yeah, I'm here. I wasn't sure. I was like, okay, I see the thing pop up. I was like, is that an accident? Yeah. Just in the few months now, it's been 2 months, 8 weeks. Actually, coming up, it'll be 9 weeks. So I'll be recording and reporting on the new numbers. But just looking at what we've been able to do, comparing my wife's income to where we are with just adding BitBooster. Here, I'll do a short. Let me just go to my slide. Actually, if you want a screenshot, I'll actually show the slide so people can see it. If you take a screenshot if they'd like. Okay, there it is. And I'll just explain the slide. Does that work?
Yeah, you should be able to.
Okay. There. Okay, so I started documenting once we there we go. Can you guys see that?
Yes.
Okay, so I started documenting once we started, and just comparing my wife's income, what we'd like to do, what we need to do. So replace her income and estimated it, but because certain things being said on these Zooms, that's why these Zooms are so important. Because I didn't know the information when I first started, but as they kept just some passive residual, we know to get low free Bitcoin. That's great. But then these are weekly numbers. When we started, I got 100, my wife got 100. So in the first week, we made like 560 together. No work, no nothing, just turned on 0.1 booster each. And then these are the other tools we use, just things that we've learned how to get passive, savings and all that. So that's where we were prior to BitHarvest. in that this the first week adding BitHarvest stuff here. And $134 a week, passive residual income, not bad at all. You know, hey, every little bit helps. But then it got fun because this is as of 8 weeks later. I chronicled every week. This is 8 weeks later. All the other numbers stayed the same, but look what number changed. Clearly, that is not $5.60 a week anymore. That is now a 4-figure number in just 8 weeks because we got the Bit Boosters. When I heard it was only 500,000 Bit Boosters for the whole world. When they're gone, no, they're not going to make any more. That's the other thing I heard. So when I heard they weren't making any more, I'm sorry, that they only have 500,000 boosters. Well, my plan was to get 1 booster. Well, that won't going to work because they're going to run out. So we have what's called a situation fund, not emergencies, because our God don't do emergencies. There are situations in life. So we have a situation fund that's just been sitting for the last few years. And I'm sitting there thinking the value of that situation fund is only going in one direction because it's in dollars, and that's down. Losing buyer power every few weeks, every few months, every few years. It's just going down. So I was like, hey, this is a situation. We can put some of those funds to work. So we got way more than I originally thought we were going to get. And then I heard there's no more. Not only are they limited to 500, I think I asked a question on the Zoom was, hey, are they going to make any more of these, you know, when they run out? When we heard that answer was no, I said, oh, no, that's another situation. Let me go back to the brains of the operation and say, hey, honey, not only are they limited, they're not making it anymore. This is it. So we need more than even this to get to the numbers I want to get to. My ultimate goal is 800 machines. And we started off with 0.1 each. Then we went to 1,000. Then we heard the numbers. We got 10. Then we heard the other numbers. So we started really after 3 weeks of being here, went from 0.1 to 20. Here it is now. Not counting any commission, no icing, just the cake, minding our business. Got 20 machines started. Everything that comes in, we put it all back in. You do what you do. That's not financial advice. You can put some in, take some out. You can take it all out, or you can put it all in. I'm all in until the year is over. That's just my strategy. Come January, we'll revisit. Ain't no telling what this number gonna look like by January. Just compounding. So that's what we did in 8 weeks. And as you can see, it clearly changed the outcome of the number. Look at the weekly now. That's as of Sunday. I do Sunday to Sunday. So it's grown since then because we keep compounding. 0.2, 0.1 every day. So we're up to about 6 days a week now where it's 0.2 that we're rolling over. And 1 day out of the week, maybe 2 out of the week, it's 0.1. So it's going to keep going. Eventually be 0.2 every day, then 0.3 and so on up the line. And this number, now this is where it got really silly. When I ran this number, we surpassed my wife's income. What she makes per week, she makes less than this. She's been there 26 years. We love the company she works for. They're a great company. She has like tons of vacation, sick leave, all that. But she makes less than this. We did this in just adding this in 8 weeks. Surpassed her income, 103%. Every week that goes up. And then the number that really blew my mind was when I went back and said, well, wait a minute. Before we started with Bit Boosters and BitHarvest, look at that number. Look at this number. I said, well, how much is that? I think I rest my case. BitHarvest, Bit Booster is a good idea, in my opinion, not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, but to take our income passively, no work, up 930% and counting in just 8 weeks, that's bonkers. I'm not even counting commission. I'm not talking about, because we do make some as well because we've shared it. Other people say, well, what are you doing? What's happening? I'm not counting that. If I count that, this number's this number is pretty nice. It's not as big as this because we have more boosters working for us and making income than commission coming from the group, which is the way it should be. You don't want to chase icing. Your teeth will fall out. You'll rot all your teeth out. Just my opinion. Cake first, icing later. The icing will come. All you got to do is enjoy it and share it. Others will want to enjoy it and share it as well. You'll make more that way. That's just what we're doing. 930%, 8 weeks. I can't wait to see what the next week and the months to come is going to hold.
That's a great success strategy there, Wendell. Thanks for sharing. Very exciting for you that we can you know, you're prepared to share every single week, and we can monitor how things are going for you. So exciting times, my friend.
Thank you for sharing there, Wendell. Is there anybody else that would like to share an experience with what they've had so far? If not, then I'll be shutting off the Zoom at this point, and we will continue with phase 2 of this particular meeting. No comments? Okay. Just to end off, anybody that's watching this video, or you got to go talk to your friend, get a link, create your account today, take action, try it out. If all you've got is $100, go ahead, try it out with $100. If you can afford something more than that, then do. You know your budget, you know what you're able to do, and try it out, have a good experience, make some withdrawals, and come join us. Okay, that's all I'm going to say for now. So we'll stop the recording and see you next time.